which job did you prefer, being ambassador or Deputy National Security Advisor of India?
It's a very difficult question. What if I say both?
Okay. What were the challenges in both of them, I would say?
Well, they're very different jobs, right? As the Deputy National Security Advisor, it was, the remit was very vast. You felt you could contribute sitting in Delhi to whatever you felt as ambassador was not being done in Delhi. You said, okay, now you can't blame anyone. It's you who is responsible. So I found it extremely challenging, fascinating every day, just to be a part of a system in which you are contributing to increasing India's muscle power or national power or capabilities, trying to help everyone get better and better. So it was a satisfying job every single day, because sometimes you succeeded, sometimes you did not. You knew the scale of the problems, gigantic problems India faces. So whatever you could do, so 24 hours was not enough in that sense. I mean, maybe you're not in office, but you were thinking all the time and trying to see if I can, as much as I can do in the limited time that I have. So whatever little you could do, you take away with satisfaction.
So how does a diplomat function? For example, if you're in the State Department, to be put into the Pentagon or something like that, and then here, a diplomat's job is to find solutions and build bridges, whereas one would think that in your job as National Security Advisor, you're looking at everything from a security perspective, which means cracking down on those very bridges, right?
No, it's actually the opposite.
Okay.
What happens is that in a system like ours, which is, despite the Prime Minister's best efforts, there are silos, there are ministries, they don't necessarily talk to each other as much as they should be talking. So much of my job, believe it or not, was actually diplomacy within India. To get people to sit, to talk, to find, even if we are discussing the kind of stuff we did today, I mean, what is the Indian view? What is the party view of a certain crisis or a situation? How do you arrive at that? What is your response to a security challenge or a threat? There are multiple players involved in decision making. Even if you look at, let's say, the question of the United States or Bangladesh. I mean, in the US, you have the Commerce Ministry, you have MEA, you have Finance Ministry, you have the agencies, you have so many people. So the job of the Deputy NSA, and that is why I would say the National Security Council was beefed up, was reformed, because of the understanding that in today's day and age, national security is an integrative whole. You cannot have silos. You cannot. A Ministry of Home Affairs or Defense or MEA is not the equivalent of national security. National security is more than the sum of its parts, and therefore you need that integrative approach to all these threats and challenges, which are not cannot be addressed by one single ministry.
So the National Security Advisor see, if we look at Brijesh Mishra, the first National Security Advisor that we had, he was also Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister. Now, you've worked with Mr. Doval, and he's done 11 years, I think, as NSA, right? So how do you see the two styles of Mr. Brijesh Mishra and of Mr. Doval?
Look, I've worked with all
Yeah.
Principal Secretaries since 1995. What I can tell you is that we are very lucky as a nation, as a country, to have the best people on the job as Principal Secretary or NSA. And I've seen successive Prime Ministers. All of them have been absolutely fantastic in terms of ability and track record. But all of them have been very different from each other. The skill sets they bring, and I haven't spoken about this at all in public to anyone, but since you raised it, before Mr. Doval, you had Shiv Shankar Menon. Before that, you had M.K. Narayanan. Before that, you had J.N. Dixit for a brief few months.
Yeah.
And then before that, Brijesh Mishra was the first National Security Advisor after the nuclear tests in 98. Each of them has been a personality. And a huge, strong sense of what India is. The ability to give whatever you have to the job, and the trust you have of the Prime Minister. So when you watch them at work, it's a real opportunity to learn, and to also and you get swept away by the kind of fervor and the passion and the zeal they have, because when you're in that position, all you think of is the country. I mean, it's a platitude. I don't want to make it sound like a slogan, but it is actually true, because at somewhere in the entire system, the buck has to stop.
Yeah.
And you are a chosen person, not because completely for political reasons, but also because of your credentials. So it's a combination of your professional capabilities and the trust you have of the political leader.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा।
The issue is, टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है।
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दें?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब।
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप।
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI, it does not lie.